Hello there, people of the internet. I have this really weird fog that is forming around me out here in the field, and I've never seen anything like this before. It's just this thick, dense fog that's forming in the middle of a hot, humid Florida day. I know I got some weather coming in, but I've seen plenty of weather living here in Florida. My goodness, I've never seen anything like this. Anyway, I was out here, it might be interrupted by the weather, I was out here with a buddy of mine not too terribly long ago, and although you guys can't see it here, on the other side of the car I have some tires to absorb exactly this. We went over there to check out the tires that are on the other side of the car. My buddy noticed that we were over there looking for like copper jackets and things that were like pieces of bullet that have gotten stuck into the tire. And we noticed that there was a lot of pieces of car that was stuck into the tires. So me and my buddy were actually kind of blown away. I knew that, some shrapnel from the car was going to be caught by the tires, but I completely underestimated just how much shrapnel from the car was going to be stuck inside of those tires. Completely underestimated it myself. So my buddy and I were just kind of like in awe at just how much car was inside of these tires, to the point where like we didn't even see any copper jackets left over from the projectiles. So I figured I'd go ahead and I would talk about, the dangers of shrapnel and whatnot. A lot of times whenever people see a projectile or they think about a bullet going downrange, they think, hey, that bullet itself is going to be, the hazard. Well, it's not necessarily the bullet itself, it's the energy that the bullet is going to transfer onto whatever it is that it hits. And if what it hits is something that is going to break apart and fly in all different directions, dispersing that energy, then it's almost like, for example, the car. Whenever the round hits the car and goes through the car, it carries bits of the car with it in that direction. And if you are taking cover behind something that a bullet can, not only break apart and pass through, that cover is officially no longer cover. It's more concealment than anything else. But rather than just get hit by that bullet, you would get hit by essentially a shotgun blast of shrapnel from stuff that the bullet is going to carry in that direction, with the amount of energy that it has transferred into whatever object it is that it has just smashed into. Now, of course, the amount of shrapnel and the amount of damage that is going to be, thrown into the direction of the bullet, the same direction the bullet is going to be directly dictated by the amount of power that the projectile itself has. Like, for example, cars are pretty much just straight sheet metal, with the exception of the engine bay, and maybe you have some firewalls in there or something like that. And, I guess the gas tank as well, assuming that it's filled. Of course, this car doesn't even have a gas tank. But if you have something that is a nice, slow-moving, lightweight projectile, like this 115 grain full metal jacket from this 9mm, PCC right here, these would probably not even make it through the car. Let's see if I shoot the steel with it. Let's go for some steel shots. But those right there are rounds that probably won't even make it through the car, so of course they wouldn't carry any shrapnel into the tires because they wouldn't pass through the car. If somebody has something like this, especially if you know where to take cover behind a car, and you were taking cover behind like a rim or something, that would serve as pretty adequate cover, because the odds of a 9mm going through that vehicle in certain spots are pretty gosh darn low. And even if it does go through those particular spots where it can go through, the odds of it carrying a bunch of shrapnel are pretty minimal, just because of the amount of energy that the 9mm has. Now, if you step it up to something a little bit more beefy, like a 223 round, these right here are moving much, much faster, and they have much more energy behind them. Although they are smaller projectiles, they're still going to transfer a lot of energy onto that target, and that transfer of energy onto the target is going to break apart a bunch of those bits. So the odds of you getting some shrapnel from a 223 5.56, especially because the bullet itself is going to break apart, that is going to be significantly higher than something like a 9mm. Let's shoot the actual rim of the car. That's always fun to do. Just tear up that rim. But the odds of some shrapnel from a 223 going through something like that pretty high, and the odds of the other side having shrapnel come out also pretty high. Man, this haze is just insane. I have never seen anything like this. It's not smoke. Nope, I would definitely smell it if it's smoke. It's like some kind of haze, like I said. But I'm willing to bet that a majority of the shrapnel that is going into those tires on the other side of that vehicle there is probably from my full-power military surplus rifles that I like sending, you know, I like using these to send lead down in that direction. This is some Turkish 8mm Mauser stuff, and I imagine that just where with my steel is, and there's nothing really there but a bunch of sheet metal and whatnot that is now significantly compromised and torn apart and basically turned into a giant cheese grater. I'm willing to bet that a lot of the shrapnel in that area on those tires are probably from these full power rifles and just breaking apart, especially whenever I hit the steel and the leftover spalling just goes directly up into the car. I can't imagine just the amount of shrapnel that goes all over the place down there. I would like to get myself like a HD slow motion camera or something so I can see where exactly all of this spalling is going. Let's send around. Oh, that poor steel has been through so much. Alright. But yeah, these more powerful rounds are absolutely, they just have more energy going down range. And they're absolutely going to be very, very likely getting quite a bit of shrapnel going on behind that car. So although, yes, it would definitely suck to get hit by a projectile, especially one that is not a full metal jacket. Full metal jackets tend to, well, with some exception, tend to go just basically poke a hole right through a soft target, unless they tumble or something like that. But they'll tend to poke a hole right through a soft target without transferring a whole lot of energy onto that target. Well, if that full metal jacket is broken apart and slowed down and you have multiple other shrapnel pieces going forward, although the energy transfer is going to be less, the soft target probably would get more energy transferred onto that target because of because of all the shrapnel and increased surface area and whatnot with the broken apart bullet or perhaps tumbling and deformed bullet than the target would originally get from just that full metal jacket going down range. So if you find yourself in a situation where projectiles might potentially be able to pass through whatever it is that you're taking cover behind, don't take cover behind that target, and you definitely don't want to be hit by any leftover bits and pieces coming off of that target. Your cover itself could become a projectile, and you definitely do not want that. So kind of a shorter-ish video. We got some weather coming. I can't even see the other side of my field anymore, at least not very well. I have never seen anything like that before. That's quite the experience. Okay guys, well, my camera's dying. I'm going to go ahead and bring all my stuff inside before it gets rained on. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garrett. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.